This may be part 2. I'm not sure if it cleared my video out earlier. If it is, it'll be part 2 on wiring the heater up, on hot water heater on this Atwood 6-gallon hot water heater. This is how you wire up a hot line, permanently hot switch for your new switch you got to add. You take this little clip right here, and you're going to slide it over. The existing hot wire. You're going to hold it in place. You're going to slide this one up there. There's a little catch. You slide it all the way up. Hold those two in place. Take your pliers and you mash this little metal plate here down. It cuts through the insulation on this wire and connects the two together without cutting the wire in two. What it does is it slices through the insulation on this wire here, and it catches through the insulation on this one, so you got copper to copper, and it transfers the juice through this right here, and you just snap that in place, lock it up, tuck it back out of your way. Now I've got a new hot wire for the switch, and I'm going to tuck it in out of my way back over here. Now I purposely cut that a little longer than it had to be. I purposely cut that a little longer than it had to be so I'd have excess place. If I wanted to mount my switch up higher in the trailer, I could, or I could mount it down low, down close to the heater. But I purposely did that. So we're going to get ready. We're going to get ready to go ahead and put this new heater in. We're going to get ready to go ahead and put this new heater in. This is going to go back to that red wire off my existing trailer. This is your ground, which is going to go back to the yellow wire that the old ground was on. This orange is for your propane. That runs the propane gas right here. So that one is going to hook up to the brown. This white wire is going to hook up to the new red wire that I put on the other red wire, which is going to indicate that that's a hot wire. That's 12 volts. It's not 110 or 120. That's 12 volts. And it's going to hook up at 12 volt low voltage, is going to hook up to this and the new switch. The switch is going to hook into the switch, and when you turn the switch on, it transfers power on into this side through the switch, which powers up this little circuit board right here. So if you don't want to use your electric, if you don't want to use the electric heating element, which is on this side of the tank, then you would turn the switch off and you turn your propane on inside, the switch inside, and run propane. Or you can turn the propane on, leave this one on, and you can run both propane and electric at the same time. That gives you around 17-18 gallons per minute of hot water. If you run just the electrical, you're getting about 6 gallons per minute on the hot water, 6 or 7 somewhere, don't quote me, but it's right in that ballpark. If you run just the propane, you're getting about 10 or 11 gallons per minute. And the instructions say about 17 to 18 gallons if you run them both at the same time. But anyway, this is how it's going to be wired up. So there's plenty of other videos on how to install this heater. What we're going to put our putty. We're going to put this putty around the hole. We're going to seal that off. I'm going to go ahead and restab this. I'm going to hook up my gas, get all that hooked up, get this all screwed in here, and then I'm going to go inside and go ahead and start mounting the hooking the rest of the wires up here up from the inside, and I'm going to hook the high voltage up here. So that's going to be the step of finishing the install. And of course, we're going to put the new door on, the new vent, and the new clips. These clips you see, when you see them hanging, they were hanging off of this like this in a photo when you buy a new heater. But I didn't really know what they were, but they're the clips to go on this door. They go, one goes here, one goes over there like that. That's how they go. You put one over here, and that's just for added support. So this is D Maxwell going ahead and signing off. But this is how you wire up your low voltage and your high voltage on a dual propane electric hot water heater. I could not find any videos or any help online that showed how to wire this up. And I spent hours yesterday looking, trying to find how to wire this up and what this white wire and what this orange wire was, since they didn't match up with my existing wires. So I spent at least 10 hours yesterday trying to look and figure this out, reading the instructions. You know, the instructions really wasn't that helpful. I mean, I know how to read schematic. It showed me I had to have a new switch. I didn't really understand why I needed a new switch, because they should have left the thing the way it was on this one, and I could have just wired it up. This install would have been a 1 to 2 hour install max. I probably could have done it in an hour. But because of these extra 2 wires right here, threw the whole process off, and I spent 10 hours trying to figure out what these wires really were, why I needed an extra switch. If they had just put this switch on this box and left this alone, you would not need this. But they didn't. They had to go change shit up. So now, you know, you've got to go and put in an extra switch, change your whole wiring setup, because they decided to take this switch off and run everything through the low volt side. So again, that's just a hiccup from the manufacturers. Maybe it helped things, maybe it made it a better heater. I don't know what they're thinking in was doing it that way, because the old way seemed to work fine. But either way, as long as it hooks up and works fine, I don't have any issues. I'll be fine with it. I would prefer the manufacturer, and this is to you manufacturers, these hot water heaters, if the old product's working fine, don't change it. Leave it alone, because it made it more complicated for people out here in the real world trying to figure out how to install them. So luckily I figured it out. I had to call the manufacturer, I had to call some dealers, but I got it figured out. And maybe this video will help the next person not have to spend so much time on the phone and researching these 2 wires. And so anyway, this is D Maxwell 817 signing out, and I'm going to go and get this install done.